Hello everyone. Well, I know it's been 2 months since my last video. I had a choice between playing video games with my friends, watching TV, or making videos for the YouTube. Well, I chose to play video games with my friends, obviously. Anyway, in past 2 months a lot happened in the world, especially between Russia and Ukraine. Today I want to talk about previous Ukrainian strike against Russian airbase in Crimea Island. I've been asked about it a lot in Twitter, so let's open it a little bit and talk about it. First thing first, let's talk about what type of weapon been used to strike this airbase. The easiest way to understand what type of weapon used to strike this airbase is just watching the satellite image come out after the strike. For example, you can see one of these images, and as far we can see is a couple of impacts and some fighter just destroyed inside the blast pans. Well, Ukrainian says they're tagged on by special forces. Well, I can see the missile impacts in this image, so it's not special forces? So if not, what is it then? Well, if we look at the image closer, we can see one impact, and again, we can see the fighter jet destroyed inside the blast pans. Look at the picture closely, you cannot see a massive impact inside the blast pans. So whatever hit the aircraft inside the blast pan did not have a huge warhead. So, in my opinion, in this situation, attack done by M57 tactical ballistic missile, but not with a regular high explosive warhead. In this situation, they use a smart ammunition, the bad ammunition. A single M57 tactical ballistic missile can carry more than 8 of this smart ammunition. And because this ammunition released from the sides of this missile, we still have the structure of the missile hitting the ground. That's why we have a massive impact on the pictures. This smart ammunition do not have a massive warhead, so they do not leave any impact on the ground, but it's enough to destroy an aircraft with it. But the more important point is, a single M57 tactical ballistic missile with the bad ammunition can engage multiple targets even when these targets are inside the blast pans. So there you go, you have my answer for that. You may ask how the Ukrainians have this missile and how they fired this missile. Well, USA hand over some M142 rocket artillery system to the Ukrainians, and their rocket system also can fire M57 tactical ballistic missile. And from another side, USA recently hand over some HARM anti-radar missiles to the Ukrainians, so the HARM is more important missile than M57 in my opinion. So it's completely possible that USA hand over some M57 tactical ballistic missile to the Ukraine as well. So let's go to the second elephant in the room. What the hell is wrong with Russian air defense system? Why Russian air defense system that every time we open Russian website, we talk about Russian weapons, everyone says the Russian air defense system is one of the best in the world. At the time of the Ukrainian strike against the airfield in Crimea Island, the S-400 was tasked to defend this airfield. So what went wrong? Why did S-400 did not react to this attack? Well, in my opinion, the problem is not the S-400 itself. The S-400 itself is a capable air defense system, as the Russians said. But the problem starts from another side, from the strategy that the Russians used this air defense system. Let me explain it. Back in the 70s, Soviet realized they do not have any chance standing against US Air Force, and that was based on what Soviet fighter jets performed against US aircraft and French aircraft in past wars, from the Korean War up to the Arab-Israel War and India-Pakistan War. Soviet Union also had this experience with the American spy planes flying over Soviet Union over and over. So Soviet Union needed a new strategy to protect its airspace, and they come up actually with something good in the paper, the layered air defense system. So this layered air defense system is supposed to be a couple of different air defense systems as a short range up to the long range, working together with the Air Force under control of one high command to protect Soviet airspace. So different layers engaging different type of the targets to protect it in all cases, and that's the sort of a problem that we are looking for. Look, when you start from the short range, every short range air defense system has its own command service, and you're going to the next one, you're going to the medium range, and the medium also have its own command post, and you're going to higher range, the longer range air defense system like S-300, S-400, they also have their own command post, and all of these command posts connecting to one high command post. That one high command post is the only command post can connect and communicate with the Air Force. In the paper, it's not the problem, I know, but when you put it in the field and in action, you will see the problem right there, because this one high command post is the only place that you have all of the information from the different radar, from different air defense systems, from the Air Force and from the early warning systems, all coming together. And in this one particular place, you cannot control air defense systems in time. An easy explanation is that this high command will be overfilled with unnecessary data from different radars, and this unnecessary data need to be progressed in this center, and it takes a long time for the center to respond to any target they have to engage with. Let's go back to the Ukrainian missile strike against Russian airbase in Crimea Island. In my opinion, S-400 did detect the M57 ballistic missile, but the M57 ballistic missile, it is a ballistic missile, but when it comes to the flying, it's a sudden maneuvering, and at some points it just starts flying just like a cruise missile. And that's the reason why S-400 could not identify this missile as a attacking missile. So they had to send information to higher command to avoid any possibility of friendly fire situation. Well, unfortunately for Russians, the M57 ballistic missile flies with the speed of Mach 3. You have to respond fast, or yeah. The reason I'm thinking the problem is that, and what I explained is, if you look back at the Ukrainian war, we have a couple of similar situations. For example, a couple of times Ukrainian tried to strike Belgorod using Tuchika ballistic missile, and every time Russian air defense system respond fast and engage the target, because for S-400 was obvious the way of the Tuchika ballistic missile flies, so it was easy for them to identify the target without asking the high command for it. But at the same time, when it comes to the Mi-24's strike against the Belgorod field stocks, we had again the same situation, because the air defense system could not identify the Mi-24s as a friendly or the enemy. And when they asked the high command, they gave the result very slow. And by that time, the Mi-24s did their job and they were in their way back home. Question: the other countries or customers of the S-300 or S-400 also have this problem with the high command and stuff? Well, no. Obviously, this weapon is built for the Russian need in Russian tactics. But it doesn't mean every country have to use the same strategy. Based on need, every country has its own air defense tactic. But the overall, all of them come from the layered or open skies. For example, Turkey is a country that's a customer of the S-400, but the main air defense tactic they use is open sky and is on hand of the Turkish Air Force. So what's the S-400 for? Well, look, the S-400 does not need in this tactic to connect to a higher command. The S-400 itself is the higher command to protect a particular place against the target that Turkish think they may face it. So in that situation, the S-400 does not need to wait for a higher command to identify the target, so none of this thing gonna happen for him. It's gonna react fast and quick as it should be. Second common question was, can we change the Russian air defense system right now and make it more efficient? Well, yes, they can do some stuff. They can build some communication station between the air defense systems and the Air Force to have a faster detection and realization in the battlefield, so they can avoid the friendly fire faster and engage any possible target. But it's just a temporary thing. It's just like you fixing your shoe using duct tape. In overall, in long term, Russia needs to establish and organize a network-based air defense system to avoid any possibility of the friendly fire and make identify progress way faster. So if Russians try to go after this thing and try to fix all of it, they have to go back to the paper from everything they learned from Soviet Union and everything they learned from the previous wars, put them all together and reorganize all the air defense system from scratch. And this reorganize will require to scrap some of this unnecessary air defense system like S-350, because you can have the S-350 missiles inside the S-400 at the same time. This is not reducing the money, this is completely opposite. You have a different air defense system, it costs you differently and it will require its own logistical service. At the same time, it will give you some protection that you can get from the S400. And from the other side, you have a lot of data from this radar and that radar that are similar to each other but coming from the different air defense systems, and you have to analyze both of them in the high command, and you ended up with the same result. So that was my 10 minute. See you in the next video.